Okay, so I've been asked a few times how to curl hair with straighteners. This might be something that everyone's well used to by now, or it is one of those things that you might have tried it once and you might have had a bit of a tricky time. I'm going to show you today on my hair, which was washed yesterday. I've slept in it. It's really fine. So it doesn't sit very well once it's been slept in. So this is just a sort of daytimey, like maybe a brunch kind of look, nothing too extravagant. Anywhere where you're happy going with your hair on the second day, if you've got fine hair, this is perfect for. So I have put a little bit of dry shampoo on this morning, and I put a little bit of protection just over the ends. So what I would usually do in this situation, the straighteners are ready. I would get my crown and basically just part a little bit there and just back comb slightly, just to make the crown make friends. As I say, where I've slept on it isn't the best. So I would do that first, just so it doesn't mess up any curl once you have finished the rest. Hopefully that's made friends at the back. And then just out of habit, I would probably fix the front because otherwise I'll be sad. So I'm going to just lift this little bit up at the front and come underneath. I'm not pressing the straighteners very hard. It doesn't need a lot of lift there. The hair's really thin, so it doesn't need a lot of heat. And I'm just pushing it from underneath and just smoothing it off. Now that's just making sure that now that top section is all right and this front section here is smooth, and then we can move through the rest of the hair. This chair's very squeaky, sorry. I would then do like a half up and just clip it very lightly. And take this front section here. And what you do, I've smoothed that down. I've got about whatever that is, an inch, 2 inches, anyway. And just placing it on and just wrapping it round and curling it away from the face. So you get quite a loose, modern boho curl if you are curling away. If you curl towards the face, you get a nice look, but it is more of like a vintage type of curl. I've seen it done in like modern films and stuff, and it does look really nice. But it can feel quite bulky against the face. So again, I've taken quite a big section here because I'm not spending loads of time on it. I've got the straighteners upright. I'm putting them in to just below the root-ish, where it starts to feel resistant. Press them down and then start to turn, and then just pull down. And then give a little bit of an extra turn at the bottom, because that's when it starts to go straight and you can end up with a flat bit at the bottom then. And then same again, using quite big sections, as I say, because I just want to get it done, to be honest. I haven't got time for this. Gets a little bit more tricky towards the back, but bear with it. Best double chins. Now that smoke coming off will be from the heat protection I put on it, but also the dry shampoo mainly. Same again here. Don't try and do it without brushing it first, at least give it a quick go through. And you do have to roughly section it. So, get it there. I make the front pieces slightly smaller, just so you get a bit of a better curl. But these back pieces here, these chunky bits, you're not really going to see that. This is just for volume underneath. Putting it in, bringing it round. And the best thing to do is to just leave them cool. Don't try and do too much with them. And then I'm literally, this is like, it's a bottom section and a top section. So I'm going to try and make sure that's still in one piece. Leave the very, very front pieces, whatever you've got, leave them till the end. And then same again. Make the front piece a little bit smaller. Chair. Place it on, and then pull down. This is not a stylist's way of doing it on a client. This is not what I would do to a client. This is just what I do to myself. I would never expect anyone to have this from me. So this is tricky now because you're trying to get in from a little bit higher up on the scalp. So you kind of got to bend your arm around, grab on, and now you need to wrap the hair around this part really. I don't think I'm trying to do it without looking. Wrap the hair around and then pull down. Little extra turn at the bottom, so that, yeah, you just got to turn it sometimes. It looks like it's fallen a bit flat. Now I'm going to do this front piece. Now I can see what the rest of the curls are doing, and I'm just going to very, very lightly do the same thing there. Now that feels like a little bit much, and it will be initially, but this chair's getting really annoying. But when it cools, it'll be loads better. And also, if it isn't, you've got straighteners in your hand, you can just go over it. If you've got bleached hair, it's a little bit more tricky for it to take. So you need to make sure that your heat protection spray is the most important thing, and that goes on when the hair is still damp before you dry it. And if you put anything on afterwards, when it is dry, then expect it to smoke, and try not to panic too much. But just bare minimum with the heat. And just lightly, like I did then, just try and do it until it eventually will take. And let's see, there's a piece. There's my piece. So going up into a clamp, turn. There's just a tiny little piece fell out at the end there, so I'm just going to do the same thing. And then make friends. And then there really should only be one piece left at the back. So one big piece left at the back. What's this one? There's another straight piece. So split that in half. If you end up with a thicker section, leave that down here at the side rather than at the back. So same again, go in, turn. You want to try and wrap it around a little bit now. If you've got slightly thicker hair, then you're going to have to do more sections, I'm afraid. Or at least try and do them more neatly. And then this one. Now, I never really know what this looks like at the back because I never check it. This is my time. I'm going to go in, clamp, keep some tension, wrap it round and just pull. Right. So what I would usually do now is start putting makeup on at this point while the hair just sits and cools. If your makeup's already on or you're in a rush, then use the cold setting on your hairdryer just to cool it down, because that's going to be what holds it. And then at this point you can go through with a flexible hold hairspray and then just put your fingers through it, or you can wait for it to cool, put your fingers through it, and then do a strong hold hairspray after that. I'm going to use the strong hold hairspray just because it also puts a little bit of volume in, but I'll show you that in a minute. Right, so it's cool-ish, it'll do. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put my fingers through it a little bit just to separate the curls. Just want to make sure these front bits are how I want them really. So that will, I think that'll do for me. And what I would do now is I'll get this is the Super Hold hairspray. So I will just bring it together a little bit at the back and sort of bring it a little bit, make sure your hair falls away from your scalp just a little, and then spray the top around the crown, get the front where you want it again, and I would then spray the front. And then you can also bring your hair out, spray underneath. Poof it up a little bit at the scalp and then just go over the sides. So, fairly quick. I have slowed that down a little bit while I was talking. I hope it's handy and let me know if it is.